Right now at 68 miles an hour through downtown Portland and into the Willamette.
Reports that a vehicle went into the river.
What new video reveals about the moments before this deadly crash.
Then, where a bear mauled a teen and shut down a popular hiking spot. Plus,
Shot from the top. How Portland State professors made a last stand when it comes to losing dozens of jobs.
And later, the Portland chef and bar both taking home the most coveted award in the culinary world.
This year we're winners.
But we begin this evening with breaking news and 4 people who have died in connection, it appears, with the extreme heat. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. Our Catherine Cook has the update just in from Multnomah County health officials. Catherine, what have you found out?
Well, Christine, they tell us all 4 deaths happened yesterday. They won't release the names of those who died, but did share some information about them. The county says there were 2 men and 2 women, ranging in age from 47 to 82 years old. According to the medical examiner, the 4 deaths were reported across several different parts of Multnomah County: Southwest Portland, Northeast and Southeast Portland, and also Gresham. Again, right now, they're suspected to have died from heat-related causes, but it could take investigators several weeks to make an official confirmation. And when we heat up again this summer, Multnomah County's health officer is urging people to check in on their neighbors and relatives, especially those who are older or with chronic health conditions.
These are folks that are known in their community, and it's sad to see that this is a possibility that, despite a lot of our best efforts trying to ensure that we were trying to prevent these types of deaths, that they may have occurred.
Health officials say there have been 16 confirmed heat-related deaths in Multnomah County from 2022 to 2025. Back to you.
Could see some 90s next week. Catherine Cook on the breaking news. Thanks, Catherine.
To an update now, speed and no seatbelts. Those just a couple of the factors in a deadly crash on the Portland waterfront. That's according to newly released police reports. We're also seeing new video that shows the car racing through downtown streets with police in pursuit before skidding through Waterfront Park, then plunging into the Willamette.
We should note only one of the 3 young men in that vehicle survived the April crash. Investigator reporter Kyle LeBeau is with us. Kyle, at the time we all had so many questions, and this gives us a much better picture of how it all unfolded.
We obtained police reports and security footage through a public records request. The evidence shows the 19-year-old driver sped off after spotting a police car. He raced through downtown Portland before crashing into the Willamette River. The entire crash sequence unfolded in under a minute. Newly obtained video shows a car speeding through downtown Portland. Investigators calculated it was going 68 miles an hour before skidding across Waterfront Park, then plunging into the Willamette River. 3 young men died in the crash, including the driver. The lone survivor, a passenger, was the only one wearing a seatbelt.
Reports that a vehicle went into the river. 3 people have yet to surface.
To better understand what happened during the early morning hours of April 6th, KGW reviewed police reports, emergency dispatch audio, and security camera footage. It was 2:09 a.m. when a Portland police officer spotted the 1996 Toyota Corolla driving the wrong way down a one-way street. According to the surviving passenger, the driver yelled, "Oh, that's an effing cop," then accelerated, speeding through the empty streets of downtown Portland. Investigators estimate the car was going 3 times the posted speed limit when it raced down Southwest Harvey Milk Street. The car left the roadway at Waterfront Park before crashing into the Willamette River. Investigators believe the driver slammed on the brakes. The car skidded roughly 200 feet across asphalt and a long stretch of grass in Waterfront Park before breaking through a seawall railing and into the river. The sole survivor, 17-year-old passenger David Buckner Jr., unbuckled his seatbelt and swam to the surface, according to police. 20-year-old Jacob Espram and 17-year-old Trent Badillo died, along with the driver, Roberto Garcia Chavez. Following the crash, his sister described the 19-year-old driver as a person who loved games, good food, and just being silly with his friends and family.
It's a tragic story. We cannot change what happened. It is what it is now, and we just have to learn to live in grace and move forward and just make sure that we don't repeat this.
Investigators determined the entire fatal sequence, from the moment the driver spotted police to crashing into the river, lasted less than a minute. It was a brief lapse in judgment that claimed 3 young lives and impacted their family and friends forever.
Crews had to use a special crane tow truck to pull the car from the Willamette River. The airbags had deployed and the roof was caved in. No charges were filed in this case since the driver is deceased.
Just terrible. Now we know how it all unfolded. Kyle Leboshi with that update. Thank you, Kyle.
In your headlines, 2 teenagers have been injured in a bear attack this afternoon in the Washington Cascades. This was in the Mount Si area. It's a popular hiking trail near North Bend, east of Seattle. Authorities say a black bear clawed a teenage boy in the face and legs after the group got too close to the bear's cubs. The second teen was also injured while running away, injuring an ankle. The trail is closed with wildlife officers searching for that bear. Crews are working to get both teens off the trail.
Federal agents have shot and injured a man near the Canadian border. It happened in Blaine, Washington. That's the last town before British Columbia. At this point, it's unclear exactly what led up to the shooting. Authorities haven't said much and wouldn't reveal if this was a case of someone crossing illegally, only saying the man they shot had a gun. No one else was hurt.
A nationwide recall of Nara Organics infant formula is underway after a Washington baby ended up with botulism. Health officials say 3 cases in infants in 3 states have been linked to that outbreak, including a child in Thurston County. Nara Organics has voluntarily recalled the product, and parents are being urged to stop using it immediately. Doctors say symptoms can take weeks to develop and may include poor feeding, trouble swallowing, and loss of head control.
Under Armour announced it will downsize operations in Portland with plans to close its current facility later this year. The company has used Portland as the base for its footwear operations for years, but will now consolidate most of that work at its Baltimore headquarters. Under Armour's footwear revenue has fallen every year since peaking in 2023. About 60 people work out of the current Portland office, and most will be relocated.
And Governor Tina Kotek has declared a state of emergency over what she calls an imminent wildfire threat. This means the state can move crews, planes, and emergency resources that much more quickly. The governor pointing to heat, record low snowpack, and drought conditions across nearly half the state. Kotek urging Oregonians to have evacuation plans in place and to sign up for emergency alerts in order to track changing conditions. The place to do that, oralert.gov. Matt?
You know, it certainly felt like fire season yesterday, because it is, but that hot weather really brought it home, right? We've cooled off really nicely. Look at Astoria right now, 64 degrees, and the wind's at 31 miles an hour, but we go up the Columbia to the Dalles, and the winds are gusting to 37. They've hit 40, 41 miles an hour there. Low humidity, warm, not hot, but warm temperatures, and the wind and the low humidity all conspiring to produce the red flag warning for dangerous fire weather conditions from Deschutes County clear up to nearly the Canadian border up in the Okanagan. Again, it's not that this doesn't mean that we expect fires to break out. There's no lightning in the forecast. It means if there is a fire that gets sparked for any reason, it can spread quickly and dangerously because of the weather conditions that we have. And boy, was it ever windy. Check out Pendleton, gusted up to 54 miles an hour, Wasco 42, Hermiston 41. So it was really whipping out of the gorge today. Tomorrow, though, will be calmer. There'll be less wind statewide. We'll have morning clouds here in the valley, but then sunny and really pleasant. A little warmer on Thursday in spite of increased cloud cover, and then warmer near 90 on Friday, but the weekend brings another cool down. Father's Day is looking great. I'll have that forecast in a bit, guys.
Nice to have a little bit of a cool down. Thank you, Matt.
Perfect outcome is the board pulls back from these layoffs, gives us the year that we proposed.
That is the president of the union representing professors at Portland State at a rally this morning before the board voted on a preliminary budget that includes some deep and controversial cuts.
Right. Devin Haskins is on the PSU campus with a closer look at exactly what's on the line. Devin, we are talking dozens of layoffs here.
Yeah, we are. 52 is the last number that we were given. And while the final cuts aren't official just yet, several faculty members have been given layoff notices that could potentially lose their jobs.
Shop from the top! Shop from the top!
At Portland State University, members of the public, faculty, and union members rallying Tuesday against millions in proposed cuts by the university.
We're here to tell the board that this is a situation in which we haven't worked together adequately. We have found ourselves railroaded by an administration that accepts only one narrative about PSU.
Portland State University is facing a $35 million budget deficit. And to make part of that up, the university is proposing eliminating 2 programs and reducing 7 departments. All told, it would mean more than 50 layoffs and a $16 million savings. Last month, President Ann Cudd telling KGW declining student enrollment and rising costs are among the main factors.
To ensure a sustainable future for Portland State, we must work through difficult decisions. Any tenured or continuously appointed faculty member affected by an eliminated position will receive a 12-month notice.
The Board of Trustees on Tuesday voting to approve the preliminary operating budget. The university releasing this statement saying, quote, Portland State remains deeply committed to a transparent, thoughtful, and collaborative decision-making process as this framework is refined. A conversation those rallying on Tuesday want to be a part of going forward.
I'm optimistic that if the board wants to become collaborative partners, if President Cudd wants to become collaborative partners, that will be better for PSU. If she works with labor, we can go together to Salem to fix these problems.
The Board of Trustees will be back in September to vote on the final budget. Back to you.
That's Devin Haskins downtown for us. Thanks, Devin.